Hi, I'm Tyler with the Craft Beer Connoisseurs, and before this episode begins, I just wanted to provide you with a little information on who we are and how you can stay updated on all of our content. This podcast was created to showcase craft breweries and indulge in interesting conversations. We want to help promote a variety of breweries and along the way have conversations ranging from sports to beer and beer to just about anything. Please feel free to follow us on Instagram at Craft Beer Cons, send a friend request on Untapped, or subscribe on YouTube at Craft Beer Connoisseurs. Also, drop a comment, like, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. Now stay tuned for today's episode. Welcome to Craft Beer Connoisseurs. I'm Tyler.
I'm Brett.
And I'm Chris. And along with us today is producer Jason.
All right, yeah. So in today's episode, we're going to be reviewing People's Pint Brewing Company in Toronto, Ontario.
And we're going to try two different beers today. The first is a Mango Fett, which is a New England IPA with lactose. Nice. And the second is their newest release, the Scottish Export Ale, which we've never really had a Scottish Ale before.
No, we haven't.
So it'll be new and different. It's called the Tam O'Shanter.
Wow, very Scottish name for sure.
Yeah, very Scottish name.
And then to finish up the episode, we're going to make our Superbowl predictions and answer some would you rather questions.
Looking forward to that.
All right, welcome back. We are talking about People's Pint, and it is located at 90 Kawartha Ave, Unit 101 in Toronto, as previously mentioned. And they opened up their location on March 16th, 2018.
Nice. And before that, in January of 2015, the People's Pint Brewing Collective was born before it later grew into what it is now, the brewery.
Yeah, isn't that exciting, eh?
Bit of history there, and we'll go into it in a little bit, I suppose.
Yeah, so People's Pint obviously is a brewery that's invested in being a community-focused brewery and a vocal advocate for social justice and equality.
Wow. There we go.
They're passing along a powerful message, along with making what seems to be some good beers as well.
Yeah. And we'll be the judge of that in a little bit. That's
absolutely.
For sure.
We will, for sure.
We will judge that.
So they are a small batch brewery, which is kind of like, we've done a couple small batch breweries before, right? And I think they're very similar to some of the other breweries that we have done before, is that they're in an industrial kind of park as well. So it is that kind of garage door opening feel, very much like any other kind of Toronto brewery that we've done.
Seems to be the theme of Toronto, eh?
Yeah. Well, space is limited, I'm sure, right?
That's true.
For sure. You got to make do. And this one, People's Pint is one of the breweries that we've done that none of us have been to before. So we would definitely want to get there once everything's opened up and everything. But I don't think any of us have had any of the beers before this, other than some we did purchase ahead of the episode. Yeah.
Yeah. And they do have a slogan. Brett, do you know what that slogan is?
Oh, I think I can read. Let's see. Good thing I'm doing this before we get into the beers, right?
Right, yeah, absolutely.
So their slogan is beer by the people, for the people.
Right. And so nice. I think that kind of melts into the whole equality and social justice. They're very focused on that kind of community aspect of it. And they originally started brewing in 2015, as we mentioned. And then it changed into what they are now. And so they were actually really lucky, because this is the community, right? This is what they have in craft breweries, to partner with some of the other breweries that allow them to brew under their licenses. So there's a list of those breweries.
Yes. So Muddy York, Reinhard, Junction, and Henderson were the main four that they were kind of hosted with to allow to brew under their license.
And it seems like they kind of started at a small little grassroots and have become what they are. And it's nice to see that kind of progression in the last, now 6 years, to go from brewing under other people's licenses and then slowly expanding and building, and then now have their own identity, have their own equipment. And I believe some of their equipment did come from Muddy York.
It seems like because of their relationship with Muddy York that they had established, once Muddy York was expanding and selling some of their fermenters and their bright tank, People's Pint was able to scoop that up, put that into their brewery, and start brewing their own beer. So I think those relationships that they developed early on were probably helpful for them to get started in actually getting the equipment.
Right. Yeah. Super beneficial, I think, to establish those relationships. And again, I mean, I guess thanks to Muddy York, right? Obviously, they got some profit back from selling those fermenters, but no, that's good that they work together. And yeah.
They probably weren't, free. They probably were sold for a little bit of money for sure. But in terms of People's Pint, they are actually open 7 days a week. I'm just telling you, 7 days a week. They're open every day of the week,
which is rare from a brewery.
Very rare from a brewery, absolutely. And also, obviously, available for delivery pickup. You can order online. I believe it's $15 shipping in order to get it literally right to your front door.
Right.
Which is what we're looking for right now. A stay-at-home order, right?
Yep. Yeah. And then their patio too is that's the Wednesday through Sunday.
Yes. Okay. Hopefully we can get back to that this summer too, where maybe we can make a tour down and visit the patio as well.
Yeah.
But as you were saying, Chris, like that is, I mean, you don't see a whole lot of these brews, especially like a small batch brewery that doesn't have like a large location to be open 7 days a week, and then to also then have the patio, depending on weather and COVID, to be open Wednesday through Sunday. So like, that's a fair chunk, right?
Yeah, no, it is good that they're accessible. And Brett, you mentioned earlier about the brewery is about equality. Did you want to talk about one of those beers that supports equality that they've brewed recently?
Yes, so they actually just came out with a couple weeks ago a West Coast IPA, and they partnered with Beer Diversity and Ren Navarro to kind of, again, spread that message of equality, diversity throughout the brewing community within Ontario, right? So nice. I always get behind breweries that do powerful messages. They also did a Black Lives beer back in the summertime as well. So they're all about making sure to get the powerful messages out there, right? And I know another beer that they've made in the past that I was hoping we could get, but obviously they just haven't brewed it currently, is the Gose Cuervo. I know our producer Jason is a big fan of tequila involved, but we did not get that one for him just to make him happy. But they brewed that one with Reverence Barrel Works, and obviously the Gose Cuervo, the main color of their label is green, which may tie into what producer Jason has us doing next week. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
Yeah. Nice little tease there.
You like that? You like that?
Yeah.
The one thing I will also mention, and I'll pass it over to somebody else to talk about it, but is they actually have an animal that gets to kind of maybe do, let's say, security at the brewery itself.
Yeah. So they have a character, if you will, which, like you said, is an animal named Maris the cat. So they adopted her through the OSPCA, the Working Cat program in April of 2019. If you follow them on social media, Maris is very, very active in their posts. But basically her job was to keep rodents out of the brewery because, nothing's a pain in the ass like mice running around, right?
Yeah. Especially when you're trying to brew beer.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. They'll get into the hops, into the barley.
Malts, everything, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice to kind of have a little bit of a mascot, right? So if we talk maybe a bit about some of the other beers that they've done. So we did talk about the Black Lives beer, right? And so the Black is Beautiful. It's their highest rated beer, actually. And it was a 4.18 and it had 43 ratings. So that would have been nice to kind of get our hands on that one.
Yeah, and that was the one where I think the recipe was published publicly, right. And a bunch of breweries could brew that beer.
Yeah, so it's kind of like the same as the Altogether that was originally started at the beginning of COVID, where the recipe was released and then the brewers could make it or not make it, depending on what they chose, right?
Yeah.
Right. And as we kind of lead up to the release of this actual episode, you would see some of these other beers. So I've had their Maine's lager. I tried that the other night, and I mean, it's a lager. It was a crisp lager, but there isn't a whole lot to kind of talk about with that one. And you guys have each had a different one. Fife, we heard from yours.
So I obviously had the Beer Diversity one. It was, again, a West Coast IPA, but it was more like an old school West Coast, where it was not as malty. It was more smooth, which I generally enjoy. I rated it a 4.25, actually, on my Untapped. So, Chris, what beer did you have?
Yeah, I had the Time Lord, which is actually also a West Coast IPA. I think it was like 65 IBU. It was pretty pretty strong on the hops flavor. But I've also got it's called Hey You Guys, the India Pale Porter in the fridge. So I'm excited to get into that because that's not something that you see very often.
Right.
Yeah.
And then producer Jason has the blonde ale in the fridge, the Goldie Boat, I believe it's called. So, we're going to be trying out some of their other ones as we go. But I think the main thing here is that we're probably going to be trying out two of their beers relatively quickly here if we can
Yes,
wrap this
absolutely.
up.
Absolutely.
Chris, you got a little bit of information?
Yeah, so we're going to link all their information on our social media, of course, as we always do.
Well, let's start drinking. Let's do this thing.
Yeah, let's start drinking.
Come on.
All right. Oh, wait, that was another episode. Okay.
That was our last episode, yeah.
Matthew McConaughey, special guesting on this episode.
Yeah, can't afford him. Too rich for our blood. Wanted to give a big shout out to Doug and Peter at People's Pint for supplying us with a code, actually. So this was interesting, a different experience that we had.
Yeah.
They gave us kind of our own little code that we could put in and order our beers.
Felt very special about that.
Yeah, exclusivity. That was great. It was nice to
we enjoyed
that. Yeah, so the first beer that we're looking at is called Mango Fett, as was previously told by Brett. It is a New England IPA with lactose. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too.
It's 6% ABV and 19 IBU. So I'm thinking this is going to go down relatively smooth.
I'm hoping so. I need a beer, so.
This is going to be smooth. So this one comes in a 500 milliliter bottle. And despite the name Mango Fett, there's actually no fruit in this beer. So they say all the mango flavor comes from the hops. So
Interesting.
Yeah, very interesting.
Now, the one thing about this beer is that it's made with oats, lactose, sugar, and citra and Michigan copper hops, which we normally don't see. The flavor and the aroma of mangoes and the other tropical fruits is again supposed to be entirely hop driven. So hopefully, I get all the hop flavor in this beer.
And
that's what I'm hoping for.
And hopefully it's mango.
Right? If it's not, there's an issue.
Okay. So on Tapped, you can follow us at Craft Beer Connoisseurs. For the overall rating of this Mango Fett, it is a 3.72 bottle caps out of 5. And it has a total of 1,043 check-ins the last time we looked it up. You guys ready?
I'm ready.
Go ahead. Do it.
All right. Let's open her up. Ooh.
Anybody want to mention the sound of that or no? Just
no, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good.
Just making sure.
So just let everyone know as we're pouring that, again, this is a New England IPA. So we are drinking out of an IPA glass. So as you learned in our second producer special, make sure you drink out of the proper glassware.
Oh, I'm trying to watch that head on it as I pour it because
it's a very, very nice head so far. And it's very actually clear for New England.
It is. And it's kind of coppery, copper in color.
Oh, Michigan copper hops, right?
Oh, there you go. There you go.
See how I tied that in together?
We tie it in.
Very smart.
It does seem like in their
I wouldn't go that far.
Previous brews that they use a lot of Michigan-inspired things.
Yes.
I just know going back through their Untapped and whatnot and seeing kind of the mixtures of the hops and malts and everything else like that they put in their beers. They must have a real, love of Michigan.
Yeah, and I mentioned that I had the Time Lord earlier before the episode, and that one is their kind of ode to Bell's Two Hearted IPA, and Bell's is a brewery in Michigan.
Yeah, so I've actually had the Bell's Two Hearted IPA. Actually,
oh, have you?
Yeah, I had it when I was in. I had it at the saw the Raptors in Detroit before COVID.
Oh, nice.
And Bell's, they had a couple Bell's beers on tap there, and that was one of them that I had. I actually have a hat and a glass because I was one of the first 30 fans in there. It was great.
Wow. So in Detroit, they have craft beer on tap. And in Toronto at the Scotiabank Arena or whatever it's called now, we've got Budweiser and Canadian.
For $17.
Yep.
So back to this beer.
Yeah, let's go back to this
one. Yeah, you've kind of talked about the color. I was taking my time pouring it, and I was taking a picture of it naturally, as one would. Photographs well.
Which you will see. You'll see that.
You will see that. The smell. Let's get into the smell here. Ooh, on the nose, I am getting the mango.
Me too.
I am definitely getting mango out of this for sure.
I'm just waiting to see if old producer Jason's got anything that he wants to comment on in this section as well.
I thought he went to bed.
He put the Afghan on and he went to sleep.
I thought he was like really, really past his bedtime.
Yeah, he is tired. So
it's true. Anywho.
You know what? It happens to the best of us, I guess. Just breaking news here. It seems that old Jason may have made a fatal error here and lost the bottle opener. So not only do you want to drink this out of the proper glassware, you want to make sure that you have a bottle opener on hand here. So he's going to be doing the old Chicago Bears scramble. And see what we can get out of that.
Just like the Bears, it was an epic failure.
There you go. So smells good, looks good.
Yeah, it smells really good. Smells like in New England. I mean, no real
taste
surprise
good?
There. Well, yeah. I think we should find out. I definitely really want to get into this.
Yeah, all right, let's get at it. Let's get out of here. Oh. Yeah, definitely getting that mango flavor for sure. Even surprisingly, with it being no fruit, the mango flavor with the lactose mixed in actually makes for a very nice combo here.
Yeah. And I can get I'm getting the lactose as well.
Mm-hmm. It kind of just smooths everything out.
Yeah, this is a really smooth beer. Actually, it's really nice.
I was just gonna. Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. No.
Right. I appreciate
you
that.
run the show here. Go ahead.
I do run the show. Don't forget that. So the thing with this beer is, reading through some of the comments, there was a lot of not as mango flavoring. We've talked about the mango flavor in the past, where it's hit or miss, and because there is no puree, because there's no concentrate, whatever it might be, this is it is pretty mango forward.
Yeah, and like mango in general is a fruit that doesn't have a ton of flavor. Like it doesn't really hit you with flavor. So it's more subtle in general. So I think they've done a good job, considering that there is no actual mango fruit in this beer, of bringing out that mango flavor.
Mm-hmm. It'd be interesting to see, like, maybe if they made a one-off of actually putting some puree in here, just to see what that would bring to the table. I don't think I want them to do that, but still, it's just a very smooth beer. I didn't think it would be as smooth as it actually is.
Yeah, she is smooth for sure.
I could get more of the lactose on the back end, though.
Yes,
more so on the front end.
Yeah.
But like it has a good mouthfeel to it, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, nice.
Like it's
creamy from the lactose,
but not overly creamy. But like you can definitely tell throughout the sip. It is nice. It's just it's I don't know. It's refreshing. I like it.
Yes, I would like this on a nice hot summer day, maybe on a patio at People's Pint.
Yeah. And I mean, producer Jason must have found his bottle opener here, because he's now coming in.
He opened her up.
He opened her up.
Finally opened her up. I hope he's along with us on the ride now. Again, not getting a lot of the mango is one of his beefs, if you will. Definitely tropical and juicy, smooth with the lactose on the back end. But yeah, so that's Jason.
So I think we're pretty even in terms of what we are thinking here about the beer itself. There's no one person saying, "Oh, this beer is not what I expected at all. This beer sucks." So going into the top 5 flavor profiles, I know you're not saying that. Going into the top 5 flavor profiles, we have mango, creamy, tropical, juicy, fruity, and I think they hit on all 5 here. We've had some beers that don't, but this one hits all 5 in my opinion.
Yeah, this is one of the rare ones where there's no like random untapped flavor profile thrown in.
I swear to God, if somebody put malty in here, for God's sakes.
Okay, yeah, but hear me out on this one, right? It again, and this is the one kind of negative thing about Untapped sometimes is, yes, the 5th one usually is like a toss-in, but when you put in mango, tropical, and fruity, I mean, if those
are juicy,
yeah, those are 3, 4 of your 5.
It's pretty much all the same thing.
They're all very similar.
Absolutely.
I think with this is I do get that mango flavor. Producer Jason doesn't really get it as much, and maybe creamy could be the number 1, but here again, Untapped users believe believe mango is the number one, right? So,
yeah, and it's interesting, maybe even tropical as number one, but it's interesting that the mango, like you mentioned in the comments, people are saying more mango, but still it comes out as the number one flavor profile. So obviously a lot of people are getting it.
And I feel as though maybe some people are misled by the title of the beer being Mango Fett, expecting it to hit hard on the mango. So they're still happy that there's mango flavor. They're just wanting more of it.
And that might be the thing too, is getting this beer and buying it and then not reading the description of it, whether it's on Untapped or if it's on the website, or somebody who is familiar with this People's Pint brew and is actually pouring it and can give you that information. People might be thinking, as you say, Brett, like it should be more mango. So,
yeah. So why don't we find out what some of the other Untapped users are saying about this beer?
Yeah. So the first one that we have on tap is Ron F. So Ron Team Fraser is the handle. On August 30th said, hazy straw color, tropical aroma, fruity, juicy, effervescent. Ooh, effervescent. Taste up front, followed by mouth-watering light bitterness. Very nice. So just a little bit about our friend Ron. Ron has an average of 4.06, which is a considerably high average for Untapped.
He's a high rater.
On 582 check-ins. And you know what? One thing I think we can appreciate, I don't really do this so much on mine. Brett, you do it a little bit more, but Ron provides a very similar written description for all of their beers. So you can check out Ron Team Fraser and you'll see all the beers he has. It is written the same sort of way. And they gave it a 4.25 out of 5.
Yeah, and I know for my personal Untapped, I like to give a little bit of hint in terms of what it is, right? Maybe sometimes with a funny quote like the next one that we're going to have here from Matt O, and his username is Matt8_Osborne, and he commented on May 8th. Drank in anticipation of May the 4th, of course. Wondering if this was a late check-in. Do you think it was a late check-in? Or can you just anticipate something on the 4th when it was already past?
Yeah, maybe he's thinking about May the 4th the next year.
That's what I'm wondering,
right? Like,
so as I was going through, it's like you commented on May the 8th, drank this in anticipation of May the 4th, of course.
So maybe you think he would have drank it on May 5th for like Cinco de Mayo?
Well, right? No, because May the 4th, Mango Fett. Right?
It's the Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with you.
Yeah. I am not a Star Wars fan, so that makes sense now. I'm getting it.
Yes.
But in relevant terms, he did give the beer a 3.75 out of 5.
Yeah. All right. Well, I was just maybe anticipation wasn't the word Matt was looking for, or he's about a year in advance here. So
yeah,
we'll look forward to May the 4th, and we'll have Mango Fett. Maybe
we'll have to check Matt's Untapped on May the 4th.
Well, that's when we'll toast him. We'll toast him on May 4th.
Yeah, that's right. All right. Well, I think I'll start our rating. So I'm coming in at a 4.0.
All right. Yeah, I'm going to copy you on that one. I'm going with a 4.0 as well.
Yeah, I'm going to be weird. I'm going to go a little higher. I'm actually going to give this a 4.25.
All right.
And you'll see our producer, Jason, he's just letting me know telepathically that his rating is a 3.75.
Nice.
Chris, what does that add up to?
Well, this one's actually pretty easy for us to do. It's a 4 overall.
All right. So let's get prepared for our second beer from People's Pint right up next.
And I guess we're back now. So the second beer we're having today from People's Pint is a Scottish
Scottish
Ale. If it's not Scottish, it's crap. I knew that was coming.
I couldn't resist.
And it is actually the Scottish Export Ale is called the Tam O'Shanter. So that's a Scottish name for sure. It has an ABV of 5.1% and 22 IBU.
All right. So, some of the aromas here are of toast. So if you smell this and you smell toast, you're not having a stroke. You
Better
might
not be
having
burnt toast.
You might just be having the old Tam O'Shanter. Caramel and tree nuts.
These nuts? I'm kidding.
So those are the aromas. So we'll look forward to those when we crack her open here.
Yeah, so this beer claims to be light and refreshing with a mouthfeel that is substantial enough to remind you that it's still winter, and yes, it is definitely still winter. It is cold outside.
Very cold.
And it is a fine drink for honest men and bonny lasses. So I guess that's a Scottish term.
Yep. I hope so.
So this beer was just recently released, like literally maybe 2 weeks ago. So due to the low check-ins and average rating on Untapped, we can't calculate it, but it hasn't calculated it, but we've done our own. It's 3.75 and 7 check-ins. So we're going to be like half the check-ins once we post this.
It was a lot easy because I think every single check-in was 375. It was good, easy math.
That's a good one for producer Jason to calculate.
Absolutely.
All right, let's grab our beer, let's grab our glass, and let's open her up.
And Chris, what glassware should we be drinking this out of?
Yeah, so the Scottish ale should be actually drunk out of the thistle glass, which you don't see much of. We did kind of touch on it in the producer special number 2. But interesting fact about the thistle glass. So the reason you want to drink your Scottish ales out of the thistle glass is because the thistle is the official flower of Scotland, and the glass is kind of shaped like the thistle flower. So it's pretty interesting. And make sure, obviously, you're using your proper glassware when you're drinking your beers.
Okay, so in terms of this one, obviously it's got more of a darker color as we expected to have out of a Scottish ale. I was not expecting this to be light at all. In terms of the scent or the smell, if you will, of the beer, I'm definitely getting the caramel. Not much into, like, kind of more so caramel and malt. It does have decent head retention though, which I like to see, obviously.
It smells like a brown ale.
Yes. Are you getting any toast? Are you smelling toast out of this?
I'm not smelling toast. Maybe we'll taste the toast, but I agree with you. Definitely caramel, kind of like almost like a sweet aroma, kind of.
Tyler, do you have thoughts on this beer?
Yeah, so I just finished the pouring of it again with that head retention, and I am drinking this out of that thistle glass.
You got a thistle glass?
Yeah, buddy.
Oh God!
Come on now. Come on now. Craft beer connoisseurs.
I'm kidding. I also have a thistle glass.
You've probably got thistle gas. You should get that looked at. So the smell of it, I'm getting the same sort of the caramel out of it. So I don't really know what the tree nuts portion of that. I think Jason, our producer, is saying that he enjoys tree nuts a lot and is getting a decent sniff out of the nuts.
Yeah.
Of his own or the tree nuts itself?
He's not clear.
Yeah, unclear at this point. We'll see what he has to say.
Okay, all right.
But yeah, are you guys getting kind of like a reddy hue to it, or is that just my lighting?
It does look a little red. If I hold it more into the light, it does look
like
more like a red ale.
Ron
Burgundy?
Ron Burgundy, yeah.
And another one coming back, rearing its ugly head. The old Will Ferrell. All right, let's
sip it.
Let's get into it.
Okay.
Interesting.
So I was preparing myself because I've never really had a Scottish ale before. I was preparing myself for this to be terrible. And it actually
set yourself up.
Set yourself up. And it actually is not. It's actually pretty good. And that's no word of a lie. I'm not just doing this. Like, it's actually pretty tasty.
So the temperature that we're drinking this out of, I pulled this out probably a good 25, 30 minutes ago to kind of let it warm up a little bit.
They do say that's, and I got this from a reliable source known as Google.
So non-producer Jason.
No, he's not a reliable source at all. In terms of, it should be drank between 11 and 14 degrees Celsius.
Okay.
I think I'm probably about there. Yeah.
I think I'm about there too.
We're not getting a whole lot of Jason input here. I think the Raptors game might be on here, and he might be getting lost in the third quarter.
No, I think he's thinking about the Leafs in terms of when they potentially don't make the playoffs.
So I was thinking about this one, Brett, and I know you love to talk about your food pairings, and
Yeah.
you know the label for People's Pint doesn't give food pairings, but I have one for you: a nice plate of haggis.
Oh, the old haggis.
Can I do bangers and mash, or is that more of an English thing?
That's an English thing. You got to
Then
stick to.
I have
straight
no other
haggis.
food pairing for this then.
At least you got to cross the pond with it. I'm proud that you even knew that. So producer Jason has kind of woken up from his slumber with the Afghans and believes that this is kind of like a brown ale and malty. So we've kind of touched base on that. I'm going to get into the 5 flavor profiles here.
Yeah.
While I kind of look at that, Brett, do you want to talk about the bottle a little bit?
Yes, for sure. So pretty much all of People's Pints bottles and cans, because they do have some upcoming cans, pretty much do have the same logo. So it's a nice little star with a raising of the glass, if you will. It's actually a pretty sweet logo, and again, you'll find that on our social media as well. Pretty much just obviously telling about all the social medias and everything else that they have. I personally think that this is actually beer tastes a lot better out of the bottle. I'd be interested to see if this was canned. Might have been maybe a little bit on the lower end of my rating that I'll give a little bit later on. I'm actually enjoying. I'm getting the caramel taste a little bit. To producer Jason's point, pretty much a brown ale. Maybe even a mixture between a brown and a red.
So when I went to the fine University of Windsor there, I took a class, and that course was on Latin America. And so the more and more I look at this logo design for People's Pint, I'm getting a very Latin American kind of revolution vibe to it. So I'm just wondering if that's kind of where they get it. And it kind of ties in with by the people, for the people. It's a very kind of revolution kind of vibe that I'm getting with it. So I don't know if there's any kind of connection with it because we never got the information on.
No. It almost like it's just doing like a nice little cheers to the people, right?
But
it's
with the star in the background,
beer revolution.
That's what I'm thinking. Is there's kind of that tie-in with it. So that's how I interpret it. But back to the old 5 flavor profiles to see if Untapped community can take a swing and a belt through this one. Number 1, malty. Number
Correct.
2, thank you. Number 2, biscuity. Okay, we got nothing. 3. If you're going to do it all. 3, toffee.
Yep, I would agree.
Okay, 4, smooth.
It does drink smoother than I thought it would, so I will agree with that one as well. Yeah.
And 5, when Brett gets upset that everybody's enjoying their beers, bitter.
Yeah, I can be a little bit bitter. This beer is a little. I'm kidding.
I don't find this one that really bitter myself.
No, I don't think so either.
Yeah.
No, I thought it would be more, and maybe just because it is a lower on the IBU scale. In terms of biscuity and whatnot, I don't really get the toast flavor. But anyway,
all right, let's get to
Tyler. I just want to mention here.
Yeah,
I want you to get all the thoughts from the Untapped users because again, we only have 7 check-ins. So
it's funny that you're saying that to me because I say that to you. Ready?
Really?
So there's not a whole lot here. And Brett, you're going to lead us off. You got the glass to your mouth, so we're going to wait for you to finish that sip.
I do.
Lead us off with one here.
So the first comment, and actually the only comment that is on the beer, is from Petro C, who could be also known as Frigante. On January 14th said, Scotchtoberfest is a lie. Does anybody know where that comes from?
I do.
You can go ahead and answer.
That would be The Simpsons.
Yes.
Simpsons, yes. Groundskeeper Willie.
So apparently,
put a little reference into that.
I'm glad you got it. He's actually one half of the 401 Brew Crew, and he failed to rate it. I wonder if maybe he's not able to rate it because he might have had a hand in brewing the beer itself.
A little thanks to Peter that we did earlier on might be a little ode to Pedro.
Conflict of interest, right?
A little bit, yeah.
Interest. But that's nice to see, though. If that's the case, didn't rate it and didn't give it a 5 out of 5 just because to inflate the rating.
It'd be interesting if he gave his own beer less than a 5, right?
We respect that. Chris, hit us with the next one.
Well, so there is no next one. There are no other comments at this time, so we're just going to shout out a couple of other users from the list of, like we mentioned, 7. So Heather, user handle is HopGirlHeather, and Brad G, username Brad Gibbon. They both gave it a 3.75 out of 5.
Nice. All right. So then rolling into ours, we know that the overall for this beer is a 3.75. And I don't want to kick the trend. I'm going to come in with a 3.75 myself.
You know what? I'm going to be just like everybody else. I'm also going to give it a 3.75.
Well, I'm going to go lower than you guys. I'm going to go 3.25. And producer Jason gives it a 2.75. So he's much lower than us.
And here comes the calculator.
Dun, 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 drum roll, please.
Numbers combined together, that gives us an overall score of 3.375. So I think we're going to bump that up to 3.5.
I would agree. Yeah, that's for sure.
So our overall score is a 3.5.
And that obviously will end. I'll spit it out. This beer's getting to me. I like it so much. No, okay. That's all for a conversation on people's.
Stick around because we're going to make our Super Bowl predictions, and we're going to have a fun segment of Would You Rather.
All right, we are back for our theme conversation. We're talking about People's Pint and how they're for the people and how we are as well.
Yes, we are.
Damn right.
So what we're going to do is we're going to touch base on our Super Bowl predictions because that's going to be happening this weekend, and everybody cares what we think, I'm sure, just like football, like beer, right?
I care about the weekend.
There you go. I'll drink to that. And then we're going to move into a fun Would You Rather segment. And we're going to also post these questions every day from the release of the episode to the release of the producer's special, which will be next week on our Instagram. So that way you can play along, and we want to know what your answers to these questions are going to be. So, so let's get into the Super Bowl picks starting with producer Jason's.
Yeah, producer Jason says that it's tough to pick against Tampa Tom, but Mahomes is the best NFL player with weapons like Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce. So he's going Chiefs 37, Bucks 28. And, it's kind of funny how the Bucks all of a sudden have fans this year because they're actually good. So
true.
They brought the personnel in, right? That's what fills the seats.
Absolutely.
In Tampa for the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So I'll go ahead and give my pick now.
Get after it.
So I'm going to have two picks. The first pick, which I'm pretty sure is about a 99.9% chance of happening, is that Janet Jackson is not going to show her boob this year. Just saying that. The second prediction I have.
That's a good pick, yeah.
Thank you. The second prediction I have, and I know it's funny because the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are the first real home team to be in the Super Bowl, I think, since the beginning of the Super Bowl. Yeah. And they're only going to get 22,000
What's your
fans.
pick? Let's go.
20,000 fans. I'm getting there. They're going to bring in some healthcare workers. Anyway, besides the point, Mahomes, again, as producer Jason said, it's tough to go against him. I'm going to say
What is your pick?
Chiefs 34, Tampa Bay Buccaneers 20.
All right, Chris, go.
What is your pick, Chris? Tell me, what is your pick?
It's also tough for me to go against Brady because I am a Patriots fan. I think we all are Patriots fans.
Yes. I went against him, though.
It's true. And as we know, Brady is a lifelong Patriot. So
what's your pick?
42-28 for the Chiefs.
That's all right.
I'm going to go with 31-21 Bucks. That's how you make a pick. You get right in, you get right out.
You went with the Bucks?
31-21 Bucks. We're going against the grain here.
You went with the Bucks?
We're going with the Bucks. Here we go. We're going to get into some fun Would You Rather here. This is what the segment's actually about. We wanted just to touch base on the Super Bowl. It's supposed to be a small portion of this, and people wanted to flap their old gums a little bit.
All right, get to the Would You Rather.
All right, here we go.
Get her going here.
All right. I love this. No, these haven't been predetermined. I hope
this is a surprise to all of us.
I hope
we're doing it live. We're doing it live.
Writing these down so that way they've got them to post on the Instagram. If not, he's going to have to go back and listen to the episode a couple times. Would you rather be born with the head of a horse or the feet of a duck? Brett, go.
Head of a horse.
Okay. Chris, what do you got?
Feet of the duck.
All right. And producer Jason's coming in with a head of a horse. I'm going to go with feet of a duck. I feel like you could quack, quack, quack all the way home.
Oh, we're split on that one.
Yeah, that's 2 and 2. That's good mental math right there. Give me the next one. Come on, fire it up here. Let's go.
Okay, all right. Would you rather kiss a poisonous snake or a crocodile?
Crocodile.
Okay.
Not being poisoned.
That was a rapid fire.
I'm going poisonous snake because there's no guarantee it'll actually bite you to poison you.
Okay. The producer's coming with the old crocodilia. I'm thinking crocodile. There's nothing saying I can't, jump on the back of that crocodile and hold its mouth down and get in there for a little smoochy smooch.
Oh, they would really like the smoochy smooch you for sure.
Yeah, I think so.
All right, keep going. Rapid fire. Let's go. Come on.
Well, this isn't. No, we said rapid fire.
Well, you were telling us to get through our Super Bowl picks, and you're taking
that's
sweet ass time here.
You're just taking your sweet ass time on that.
I just literally just said sweet ass time.
Yeah.
Take the same thing from me.
All right. Here we go. Would you rather wake up with a hangover every morning, or go to sleep with a headache every night?
Well, that's pretty much 2 in the same for me.
It's those 3M feeding the baby beers that get you on both ends, eh?
So pretty much I wake up with a hangover because of my headache before I go to bed.
Yeah.
So I'll say wake up with a hangover.
All right.
I'll say wake up with a hangover also because it'll go away eventually throughout the day.
All right. Producer Jason says wake up with a hangover means our podcast is really taking off. A wink face. I don't know if he's coming on to me, but I kind of like
celebrating.
I'm going to go with the hangover as well. I've never had one before, so it'd be nice just to experience.
That is absolute bull crap.
It's not.
Hangover before.
I've never had one. I'd love to experience one just so I could be like you.
So for everybody who follows the podcast, our goal very, very soon is making sure that Tyler is hungover. That's what we're going to do.
All right. Would you rather get special discounts at your favorite restaurant or special discounts at your favorite store?
Ooh. Can my favorite store be a brewery?
Yeah. Or is your favorite restaurant a brewery?
I would say restaurant would be a brewery. And Fife, we don't have to answer. We know it's going to be a restaurant for you.
Thank you. Yeah, I was going to say you took the answer right out of my mouth.
Yeah, well, just like the fork. Okay, Chris, what do you got?
I would say restaurant.
All right. And we got producer Jason here. Store. Restaurants not as expensive. Electronics close. You know what? I'm going with the producer on this one. I'm going to go with store as well because Amazon's a store. Let me just buy what I need. Jeff Bezos, you're welcome.
Yeah. It's not like he's making any money right now, right?
This one's a bit tough. This one's a bit tough here. And it'd be interesting to see where we go with this. Would you rather kiss a random stranger on the mouth or use a family member's toothbrush?
Kiss a stranger on the mouth for sure.
Can we
Unless the family member is my wife
who the family member is?
Yeah, I was going to say, if the family member is my wife or my daughter, then I'll take that. But if anybody else, totally.
That is your family though, is your wife or your daughter. But you said stranger. You're out. You're done. Chris, what do you got?
I'm screwed now.
If we can pick our family member, I'm going to go with family member. I will point out that none of these are appropriate for the COVID times that we live in. But I'm going with family member. All
right. Producer Jason says stranger, both not COVID appropriate. Pick a sexy lady.
Yeah, it's true. I'm not picking wow, I almost swore again. I'm not picking a homeless person in the streets of Toronto. I'm going to bide my time. Pick a 10 out of 10.
Wow. Yeah, I'm going to pick
She's not going to like it.
I'm going to pick the random. I'm going to pick the random stranger as well, as long as there's consent. That's who I'm going with.
Make her sign an agreement first.
All right, here's a good one too. Would you rather have no eyebrows or a unibrow that you can't fix?
Ooh. I'd probably go unibrow that you can't fix.
I would go unibrow also. And I think I'm thinking along the same lines as producer Jason, because Davis with the Lakers, like
Anthony Davis,
Anthony Davis, the unibrow, like you can become famous for it.
Yeah, producer says no eyebrows, but here's the thing: is I see where you're going with it. I just disagree with it. Okay, it's just that simple. I'm going to go with no eyebrows. I can draw those puppies on, but if I have a unibrow and I'm walking around with that son of a gun, people are gonna be like, "This guy is unkept."
Yeah, but you can tell that you have drawn on eyebrows.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine?
People
This
are
is
going to
just
ask
me.
questions about that. They're going to be like, "Oh, maybe he's got something."
No. Could you
wrong with it.
imagine if our producer, with the profession that he has, just walks in with a unibrow that they can't fix? He's gonna lose people so fast.
Oh yeah.
All right, let's do one here. We'll wrap it up on this one. Would you rather have your phone hacked or your house robbed?
Phone hacked.
And why? And why?
Because my phone is only worth a couple $100, but my house is worth way more.
Okay, a couple thousand. All right.
I would like to have my phone hacked instead of my house robbed, because there is nothing on my phone that I really don't care if it gets out. So
That's what you say now.
yeah. I've seen the pictures you sent me.
but I delete them.
Yeah. Well, then you also don't want my phone to get hacked, then, too, I guess.
No.
Producer Jason
Taylor,
says
no.
phone hacked. Agreed with Fife. Wow. It's very hard to see Jason and Fife agree.
That's the first time it's ever happened.
Way more monetary value in the home. Congratulations. I believe Jason is a new homeowner, so he's really holding that. Maybe it's just a shiny new thing, so he doesn't want it to get robbed into. And
I heard it's cold, though, there.
If anybody did rob them, it'd be the easiest robbery because everything's still in boxes. So
Everything's stacked up, ready to go.
Yeah. Easy straight to the trailer for the points. I'm going to go with having my house robbed. I don't have a house, so rob it. But even my apartment, there's not a whole lot you can take. So have at it. I got more secrets on my phone than, I don't know, we'll say Hillary Clinton had emails.
Are you making a Monica Lewinsky joke?
No, I was making a Hillary Clinton joke. It was 4 years later. Actually, it was 8 years later.
So I was thinking Bill Clinton. That's on my bad. That's my bad.
I know politics ain't your strength. That's okay.
No, it's not. You're right.
All right. So that's going to conclude our thematic conversation, and we'll be right back to wrap it up. And that is all we've got today for today's episode.
Thanks again for listening. Keep on listening every other Thursday as Craft Beer Connoisseurs releases a new episode, and on our off Thursdays, a producer special.
And make sure to tell your friends, family, and your favorite feline. Meow.
So from all of us and producer Jason, I'm Chris.
I'm Brett.
And I'm Tyler, and together we're the Craft Beer Connoisseurs.